The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
It's time to BS.
My microphone unplugged for some reason, but here we are nonetheless. We're doing stuff here on this evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 264 of Time to BS Podcast. My name is Dan Cruz, and as per usual, I'm coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York with, I guess, I don't know what's going on with technology nowadays. Technology's weird. Technology's in a very weird headspace, I will say so myself. I don't know, it was weird. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at Staniel Smooth. I'm going to change that soon. I think I'm going to change that soon. I'm pretty sure I'm going to change it. I don't know what I'm going to change it to, but it will be hopefully just something that isn't like high schooly. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't enjoy my Twitter handle or my Instagram handle or any of that stuff. It's just I think of it as I'm a grown-ass adult and I'm approaching 30. So it's not that I don't enjoy it. I want a fresh start. I want a fresh start with what I'm doing with the podcast. Like, follow, subscribe, and share to the show wherever you get your podcast, wherever you're watching, however you're listening, Facebook Live, YouTube, and engage with the comments and be nice. You know who you are. You know who you are. The podcast, as of, recently, in quotes, hasn't really been fun lately. And part of it's my fault. Part of it is my fault. And I understand that I'm a victim of, not even victim of, I'm guilty of just not being myself lately. I could throw in a bunch of excuses as to why I haven't been myself. It could be stress. It could be the fact I've been grinding my teeth in my sleep. That's the thing I used to do. Not so much now. Ooh, nice. And that was my neck for those listening. And I feel like every now and then I want to do something different. I feel this everlasting effort to just change things up a little bit and see where it goes. Just have some fun. But or mix things up a notch here and there. But I haven't been able to really do that. I have this everlasting urge to do some stupid stuff. But also just, I don't know, try to make things better. But it seems to be that I'm trying too hard in that regard. one of the things I wanted to talk about here this evening is I guess you would call it one of the big topics of this show is I like to have a therapy discussion with myself here and there. And occasionally what I will do is I'll just, I'll sit back, relax, and just think of some things that are really on my mind. And I had to, I stopped by back home where I grew up, which is not far, 10 minutes down the road. And I do this thing now where I just open up the windows, whether it's hot, cold, or windy. Except when it's rainy, because I like my car and I don't want to get wet. And what I'll do is I will just smell the fresh air. And I've been doing that whenever I've been able to get the chance to go home. And I know that where I record and where I live stream and where I play my games is my home, technically, but where I grew up is home to me. It's tattooed on my forearm. It's where I grew up on Long Island is going to be home. So I've been getting a lot of memory flashbacks as of recently. And where I grew up, back at my old house, there is this little beach, like a private beach, essentially, that it's like a 20-minute walk, or not even a 20-minute walk. It's like a 10-minute walk down the road from my house. And you get to hang out there and just, plop your chair over there. It was a private beach. It wasn't like, oh my God, you have to pay to go to see this beach. It was like some dude owned it or whatever. It was part of his house or part of their house or whatever. And you could just sit there, probably take some pictures and just reflect on. And it's a good little reflecting spot for me. And I went to go down there to go just sit over there in that area, and it was closed off. And it got me sad. It got me, I don't know. How would I put this? It got me thinking too hard about the good times of my childhood. And we all think that every now and then. But this particular day, I started just going around various streets back in my hometown, and I started thinking of a lot of things. I started thinking of just a lot of stuff that I loved doing when I was younger. I loved going to the beach. I loved just going to this little food shack that was right down the road too from my house. I get my hair cut here. I went to school there. I would go to this deli every now and then and get a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup on a roll. Occasionally, I'll put some sausage on there because why the hell not? I'm a psychopath that way. But it got me thinking. And I'm entering a new stage of my life where I'm getting married, and I'm thinking, will I have an opportunity to do this and just sit back and reflect on life when I was younger? And I love doing that. I love just sitting back and reflecting on things. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. My therapist says I think too hard and I need to get things out. That's why this exists so much. Because I'm allowing myself to really just open my heart up or my memories up and just go off. Which is good. I guess it's good. It depends on who you ask, but some people don't enjoy that. But you know what? Call this my personal journal. Whatever. But I don't know. I've been feeling weirdly nostalgic lately. Probably because, holy crap, I'm getting married in 6 months. If you were to ask me this 6 years ago, the inception of this podcast, I would have told you you're freaking insane. Not because of the situations that I was in, but also just because of the period of time that my life was in. I wasn't in a good headspace. Let's call it that. We got to get to commercial break real quick. But when we come back, we'll get to some wrestling discussion because there's plenty of that to talk about. Not plenty, but a good chunk of it. And I have a weird prediction on the main event for WrestleMania 42. So we will be right back after our words from Righteous Villain Beef Jerky. This show ain't free, so time for some ads.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Use the promo code BELLYUP in all caps for 15% off your order of various jerky flavors at RighteousFelon.com. So, it is our weekly wrestling discussion here on this podcast. So, with that being said, I have a question for y'all. Do you know what time it is? Where's the sound? It is ring time. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. It is ring time, or wrestling discussion here on this program. Sometimes we'll do it weekly, sometimes we'll do it bi-weekly, depending on depending on whatever happens in the world of wrestling. Because wrestling fandom to me has kind of been diminished in my eyes. Like, my fandom for wrestling has sort of been taking a step back in that regard. But there is a bit of news going on in the AEW world. Little bit. Former AEW talent Jake Hager versus Tony Khan. A great argument of discussion here. Jake Hager, who recently left AEW, had some very interesting comments to say about his former boss. I don't know if you call him a boss, but basically said the quiet part out loud. He is a Nepo baby. Treats all of his talent like doll toys or whatever. And he is not a real creative mind. And everything they do sucks. Well, most of it. It's weird because their weekly shows stink. They're in the toilet every week in terms of ratings. And before you comment and say wrestling ratings don't matter, yes, they do. And the pay-per-views do fine. It's weird. The big pay-per-views like Double or Nothing, All In, Forbidden Door, depending who you may ask, Full Gear. Like, there are some pay-per-views that they do where they're like, oh, this is occasionally a really good show. And then you watch the weekly stuff and you want to bash your head against the wall. Jake Hager repeatedly said, F Tony Khan, lightly, of course, because this is a family show. And how he wasn't really booked properly. Also, to defend Tony a little bit, Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger in the WWE, was never going to do anything in AEW. He wasn't. He really wasn't. He's not a top-tier talent. He thinks he's top-tier talent, like a lot of wrestling fans think he is, or wrestlers think they're a top-tier talent when they're not. I'm not the kind of guy that is going to dictate your wrestling career, because I'm just some schmuck behind a microphone. Who the hell am I to judge? But Tony Khan also offered this guy a 1.5 year extension on his contract. And Jake has since been, retired from professional wrestling, which is like good for you. That's awesome. You had a decent career in WWE. Not great, decent. You won a world title. Okay, you won a U.S. title. You won I think you won the U.S. title. I'm not sure. But he won the Money in the Bank contract, which is like good for you. You did stuff. You did good stuff. And then he also went off and say, John Cena refused to put this guy over, according to Swagger. I'm going to defend Cena in this because technically he should be correct because John Cena didn't really put a lot of talent over that he thought was better than him. Okay. If you want an accurate description of this comment, look no further than John Cena in a 5-on-1 handicap match against the Nexus and SummerSlam one year. Like, he put CM Punk over 3 times? I think so. I'm not sure. But he put guys like Sheamus over. He put Roman Reigns over. Put Cody Rhodes over. Like, he put a bunch of guys that deserve to get over. He put them over. Brock Lesnar. Bad example, but like you get my point. Jack Swagger is not Hall of Fame talent. He's not top tier talent. He's okay. But the point of this discussion here is Hager said the quiet part out loud, which is Tony Khan doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He doesn't. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And before the comments come after and say, Tony Khan's a great booker, blah, 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 it's like, okay, how's that schlong in your mouth taste? Because, God, like, enough. Just enough. Wrestling fandom has sort of been just, and I thought music fans were toxic. Good Lord. Speaking of toxicity, former AEW World Champion Chris Jericho has been linked to a potential WWE return. I'm not a rocket scientist. Do you honestly think you would want to see that guy who looks like a middle-aged dad listening to Creed in the garage with a few bush lights in his gut? Do you want to see that guy? Who, by the way, looks like Dog the Bounty Hunter. That's a good to okay reference for those who get it. Chris Jericho does look like Dog the Bounty Hunter a little bit. If you put sunglasses and a long beard on this guy, he looks like Dog the Bounty Hunter. It's actually scary. Chris Jericho should not be anywhere near WWE. He shouldn't be anywhere near a wrestling ring at this point in his career. I'm not going to lie, it's actually quite nice to not see him in AEW. Because, good Lord, I want to strangle someone every time I see that man on, TV. Because he can't move like he used to. He's in no way, shape, or form the same guy that he was early on in his career. He can't do the lion salt anymore. His finisher's a spinning elbow. But what WWE should be doing is looking at talent in the men's division like Obafemi, Javon Evans, Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, young Fatu's a bad example, but like up and coming young talent, and strapping these suckers with a rocket booster. That's what they should be doing. But, it's one of those weird things I can look at and go, hey, we don't need this. And by we, I mean WWE. It's just, it's one of those things that shouldn't be talked about, but apparently it's going to be talked about for a little bit. I have a prediction, and it involves the main event of WrestleMania 42. And I think I know what it is. And it was spoiled at SummerSlam. The main event of night one of SummerSlam was CM Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. It was a great match. If you like old school stuff, that match was awesome. Punk wins the title. Love to see it. You love to see these things. And then out from the clouds of nonsense comes Seth Rollins. Keep in mind, Seth injured, in quotes, his knee while holding the Money in the Bank contract. Tosses the crutches, you know the rest. Seth Rollins is the current World Heavyweight Champion. Do you know where I'm going with this? I'll tell you. CM Punk is going to win the Royal Rumble and will challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 42 from Las Vegas. It's going to happen. I think once Seth cashed in Money in the Bank and won the title at SummerSlam, Punk was winning the Rumble. It would be stupid to not have him win it, considering the fact that he's been in the right position to win the Rumble twice now, especially last year where he was the overwhelming favorite and probably should have won it, but, you know, good on Jey Uso, I guess. That's no slight on Jey. It's just Punk's more of a moneymaker than Jey. Sorry. But this would make perfect sense. Because Punk and Seth, whenever these two get together, since Punk has returned, they have put on great shows. They've put on great matches. They put on great feuds. And this would be a moneymaker. I think the main event of the whole show, Seth Rollins and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title. WrestleMania 42 from Las Vegas. It would just make sense. It would make sense. Next up, we will get to some baseball. I do want to talk baseball. But we got to go to break. Because this show ain't free. So, with that being said, hit the advertising button. This show ain't free, so time for some ads.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Use the promo code BellyUpSports in all caps. $20 off first purchase. SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. Now back to the show. I haven't been watching a lot of baseball, but when I do watch baseball, I'm noticing one man. One man and one man only. Probably because I've been getting into this team lately. And that's Big Dumper. No, I'm not talking about, Cal Raleigh, for God's sakes. That man is a catcher. Okay? To put this in perspective, no catcher in the history of baseball has hit 50 home runs. He's got, 30 games left to go? Maybe 20 something? He could very well tie Judge's home runs total from last year. He very well could. Which bears the question. Cal Raleigh for LMV. The only conceivable reason this doesn't happen is because the Baseball Writers Association of America has a hard-on for Aaron Judge. And, as a New Yorker, we get the Aaron Judge love. We get it. However, Cal Raleigh is single-handedly carrying the Mariners offense. Well, not single-handedly. There's still, a couple pieces here and there with Julio Rodriguez, Josh Naylor, and Eugenio Suarez, Randy Rosarena, and them boys. They got pieces around them, but as a catcher, switch hitter nonetheless, but a catcher, 50 home runs. Give that man the MVP this second. Now. Now. There should not be a debate or an argument as to otherwise. Cal Raleigh has been awesome for Seattle. And he's been fun to watch when he's at bat. And he's just hitting dingers left and right. He's the living embodiment of Big Al. I'm Big Al and I hit dingers. You love to see these things, right? Ain't that just delightful? All right, I made my point. Oh, boy. But yeah, just give this man the MVP. I have a question. Speaking of BS. By the way, it's time to go all aboard to the BS Express. All aboard the BS Express! All aboard the BS Express, ladies and gentlemen, because the Yankees should blow it up. The New York Yankees should they're terrible. And few Yankee fans might agree with me. I'm not even a Yankee fan. I'm a Mariners fan. How? Don't know. But because I know how. I got sick of listening to Yankees BS. I got sick of it. But the Yankees, as of right now, is currently the standings are. They're 5.5 games. Wow, that my Oklahoma just came out. 5.5 games back of the AL East. But they don't look good. They don't. And Aaron Judge is the only one that's even batting a relatively good average. I mean, I don't really watch the team, so I don't watch the team anymore. So let's do ourselves a favor and look at the stats of the Yankees right now. Let's just have some fun. Aaron Judge, aside from Giancarlo Stanton, who's been hurt constantly, is the only one batting over 300. Judge is batting 323. Okay. And the rest of the team is just a hair above 220 or 230 or under or 200 or lower. Okay? Just understand. But people want to blame Aaron Boone. People want to blame Aaron Boone and say that, the Yankees are better off without Aaron Boone. No one seems to be discussing the elephant in the room in this whole thing. Who brings in the players? Who brings in said trades? Who brings in, free agents? Who hires these coaches? Who hires these managers? Brian Cashman needs to go. They're never going to do it. The Yankees are never going to make this move. Should they? Yes. They'd be stupid to not do it because Every move that Cashin has made the last 10 years or so has blown up in his face, with the exception of Soto, but he's gone. And Garrett Cole, because Garrett Cole's a Cy Young winner as of recently. Everything else has been meh. Just meh. But at the same point, Cashin would get swooped up by another team in a heartbeat. Like if Brian Cashin were available right now, don't you think a team like the Marlins would swipe him up? Yes, they would. Should they? I don't know. Who am I? Who am I to say so? I look at the Yankees and I say, oh my God, you could be so much better. You could be so much better, but, there's some stuff holding you back. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We will close up shop in a second, but we have to get to one of our new favorite segments, BS of the Week. So with that being said, let's go to our new favorite segment of BS of the Week. Bullshit! So this week's edition of BS of the Week, we have to go to recent news, and I mean breaking news as of like 6 hours ago. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. And if you listen close, you can hear an army of Swifties marching towards Kansas City to buy Travis Kelce jerseys. Okay. Here's how I don't care. Here's how you know I don't care. Travis Kelce looks at... Okay. Hear me out. Just hear me out for a second. All right. You right? You hear me out? You ready to hear me out? If you are using celebrities or athletes or, dare I say, even musicians or politicians or something like that to dictate the happiness of your life, you got a problem. Like a major problem. Because that shows I can't live without Taylor Swift, or I can't live without Travis Kelce, or I can't live without this, I can't live without that. I'm like, I can live without a lot of things. Like, I guarantee you, if I were to leave this podcast right now, which I wouldn't because I love doing this, it's also not who I am as a person, but anyway, I digress. I had this running joke that I give it 2 years until the breakup album of the century comes out. But I don't know. I think it's funny how much money the league has made over this Taylor Swift obsession. It almost seems like they went on celebrity dating and decide, hey, I'm going to choose you because money. When Taylor makes 6 times the amount that Travis does in a year. But who am I to really poo-poo all over a relationship? Because in reality, if these were people that I knew, I would tell them, hey, good for you guys. It's awesome. Congratulations. Hope you guys have a long and outstanding marriage. I think Taylor Swift, the person, is cool. I don't like her music. That's just me. Who am I? But I don't know. It's just the obsession of this woman. It's funny. It's funny to me. Music fans are weird. Sports fans are weird. That's it. I can't really say anything because, I have one tattoo of the Islanders, one tattoo of the Seahawks. Again, I really can't say anything else. Just who cares? But, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this edition of Time to BS Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe. Also, don't forget, because, Seahawks Sessions is live on Friday night. Tune in. And subscribe and follow the show. So, you know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan Cruz. I'm coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York, and I will see you all in this life and most certainly the next one. Cheers, everyone. Have a good night.